Buddy Holly, every day. Alright, so of course this is a Glockenspiel heavy song, but we can arrange a lot of that for guitar pretty nicely. And there is some actual guitar that comes in about the solo area. It's real faint and acoustic, but it's there. So what I'll do is I'll just jump through all the parts, just play right through them. Afterwards, I'll return to the start, kind of give you a little more of a walkthrough and some details on that. Before we get going, do me a huge favor, hit the subscription button and help out the channel. Be really cool of you. All right, and no further ado, let's get on into Every Day by Buddy Holly. Okay, so like I said, getting into this Glockenspiel here, we have this intro, and basically we want to come real high with this. Okay, we're going to be 13 on the D. Okay, then we'll be 15 on the G, and 18 on the high E here. Okay, so a little bit of a stretch, not too big a deal, but we're just going to pick through that. Okay, the 13 to the 15 to the 18, come back to the 15 G, and then do the 13, 15, 18 again. Okay, something like that. You just want to get that, that shape and that picking down, and then just get it up to tempo. All right, now getting into some chords here. Like I said, there isn't any actual recorded guitar that comes in until the solo area. So initially, of course, we just have that Glockenspiel doing some real light chordage and the bass. And for some reason, the very first verse, the bass does it a certain way. And then after that verse, it just does it a different way, the whole other way. Matches more like what the guitar chords are doing. So if you want to follow along with the bass exactly on the recorded version for this first verse, you can do it this way. All right, so initially we're just going to be doing, for the intro, a couple measures of an E flat. All right, so just play that here with the 6 on the A, 8s on the D, G, B. And, there's no recorded guitar. You can just kind of come up with your own strumming on it, or if you want to go kind of what the guitar strumming is for later in the song, you can do that too, which it's just kind of a loose shuffle strum, nothing wild. So just a couple measures of this E flat here. Okay, just a loose, arbitrary strum. All right, and now we get into this bass pattern. And like I said, this is optional if you want to follow the bass exactly. So this first verse, what it's going to do is the E flat for half the measure. Okay, then it'll come down to a C minor. Okay, 3 on the A, 5 on the D and G, 4 on the B, 3 on the high E. Finish the measure a couple counts. Okay, come over to a F minor, bar the 1s, and then 3 on the A and D, half of the measure. Okay, and then drop down for the B flat, 1 on the A, 3 on the D, G, B, finish that measure. Alright, and we would repeat that E flat to C minor, F minor, B flat, repeat that 3 times. Alright, and then the last run through is kind of a little switch here. Okay, so it'll be a E flat, starting the same way. And we do bar the 4s, 6 on the A and D, 5 on the G, a couple counts. Come back to the E flat for a couple counts. And then just up now, bar the 6s for the B flat. We go 8 on the A, 8 on the D, 7 on the G, a couple counts. Okay. Alright, so like I said, this first verse, this is just what the bass notes are playing, alright? So if you want to do it this way, that's perfectly fine. If not, I'll show you what like the Glockenspiel is doing, and you can do it that way. So let's just play this all the way through. Alright, and if you want to do kind of what like the Glockenspiel part is doing instead, it's just playing these really high-voiced, small chords here, and essentially it's following more of what the guitar will be doing later. And this whole process, progression that's happening for the verse, it's kind of like a lighter, subtle version of what the Glockenspiel Solo is, so it'll look familiar once we get to that solo part too. Okay, we just leave a little bit out of it. All right, so initially you want to come up here to the 11s on the B and E. Okay, we're going to just hit that for half the measure. Then come up to 11B, 12G. Okay. Come over to 13s on the B and the G. Bring that up to 15s. All right. And then we come off to 11s again on the B and E. Hit that 11B, 12G. Come to the 13s. All right, and now we're going to drop down for B flat for the 10G, 9B. All right, and essentially you can repeat that third and fourth measure. You can repeat that twice. Okay, so just go back to the 11s, 11, 12, 13s, down to the 10 and the 9. Okay, go through that twice. All right, and then of course we'll wrap it up now with the 12 on the G, 13 on the D. Okay, for E flat, come down to 13s on the B and the G for the A flat. All right, 13 on the D, 12 on the G again. And then just take that and come up a set for 13A, 12D. Okay, so alright. And a special note here, I think for the initial verse there, and I think somewhere at the end it also happens too, it adds a little bit of a scale. Alright, and this is in place of that first B flat that happens. Okay, so take it all the way back and where we would go and come up to the 15s for that B flat. If you wanted to, instead of doing that, you could do the little scale that it does a couple times where we do 11 on the B, and then we'll do 13G, 12G to 10G. Okay, it's just a cool little scale that you can put in there. So it would be something like, and then just come back to E flat, A flat, B flat. Okay, so let's just play it all the way up to speed here. I'll go through it once without the scale. I'll do it once with the scale. All right, and now we get to, once you hear that faint acoustic guitar come in during the solo, this is essentially what you can do for the second verse, third verse, and fourth verse if you don't want to follow that weird first bass pattern that happens. And, you know, if you wanted to just do this pattern the whole song and make sure the bass doesn't do that weird pattern in the beginning, you could do that too. But for the most part, we could just call this the main progression, main guitar progression. All right, so what we're going to do is just do a full measure of that E flat. Okay, here at the 6 on the A, 8's on the D, G, B. All right, and then we split the next verse by doing A flat, so bar the 4s. All right, and then we're going to split that by doing the A flat couple counts, bring it up 2 frets to the B flat. All right, here at the 6th fret, and do a couple counts there. All right, and we repeat that, those two measures, repeat that twice. All right, so go through that twice, and then we would do E flat for one measure, then we do a full measure of the A flat, okay? Come back now and do the little switch up that happens at the end where we do the E flat, a couple counts, A flat, couple counts, E flat, and then to a E flat 7. Okay, so. All right, and the E flat 7, basically just 6 on the A, 8D, 6 on the G, and then 8 on the B. All right, and that'll get us into our little bridge sections. And a little note here with the solo, this whole pattern happens twice. And the first time you go through it on the solo, instead of doing that E flat 7 at the end, we would just do what we would do any other time and do a B flat there. Okay, so just bar in the 6 and then 8 on the A and D with the 7 on the G. Okay, that'd be that first run through while the Glockenspiel Solo is happening. And then the second time through, we would do the E flat 7 there. Okay, so let's do this progression all up to speed now. Okay, bridge sections, pretty basic here. Just couple measures now of the A flat. Okay, here barred at the 4th. All right. Okay, to our D flat, which is going to be 4 on the A, 6s on the D, G, B. Couple measures. Okay, another new chord. We go G flat, bar the 2, 4 on the A and D, 3 on the G. Couple measures. And finish it with a B, okay, 2 on the A, 4 on the D, G, B, 1 measure. Take it down 1 fret to a B flat, okay, 1 on the A, 3 on the D, G, B, and 1 measure there. now let's get into this Glockenspiel Solo. And like I said, this is just kind of a more involved version of what it would be doing in the verses. So it'll look pretty similar. All right, started off by coming up to the 11s on the B and E. We're going to hit that, then we'll hit our 11B, 12G. Do that a little quicker now, and then we'll get to a 12G, 13 on the D. So it's almost like we're just doing a bottom half of a really high-voiced E flat bar chord here. Okay, just hitting parts of it at a time. Okay, come up to our 13s, and we're just going to strum this about 4 times here, 4 or 5 times. Okay, and then come up to 15s, back to our 13s on the B and G. Okay, it's almost following closer now to the vocal melody. All right, so just try to put that in your head. All right, and then we'll do our 11s on the B and the E, 11B, 12G, 12G, 13D, and then come back to the 11 on the B, 12 on the G. All right, and then do our 13s. Now we're going to come down. We go 12G, 11B, and then down to 10G, 9B. All right, let's do this first run through up to tempo. All right, last part of the solo here kind of starts the same way. All right, 11s to 11, 12 to 12, 13, back to 11, 12. All right, and the second measure, we're just going to do a bit of a walk down. We do 13s on the B and G, down to 12G, 11B, down to 10G, 9B, come up to 10G, 12D, and then bring that up to 13D, 12G. So slowly it'd be right, and that's kind of our wrap-up spot there, where we would take that 13D, 12G, bring it down to the 13s on the B and G, back to that 13, 12 on the D and G. Take that shape, just bring it up a set to 13A, 12D. Okay, so it'd be something like, all right. And a special note, like I said, the solo, this whole pattern happens twice. On the second time, we would do E flat to E flat 7. Okay, so for that last measure, instead of going from E flat to B flat. So, subtle difference here. Instead of doing that 13D, 12G, okay, we would go, initially, we'll stick with that, but instead of going to the 13A, 12D, we would stay with the 13D, 12G, but add a 14 on the B, okay, to give it that 7. Okay, so it would be, okay, just a small little difference there. All right, let's do this all up to this last run through all up to tempo, and I'll do it both ways so you can hear it. All right, and the only other thing that happens really is there's a little outro walk down that the Glockenspiel does at the very end. So just to show you that real quick, it would be at our 13 on the D, 12 on the G, and then we come down and hit our 13s on the B and G. All right, and we do this walk down where we'll be at 12G, 11B, all right, come down to 10G, 9B, and And you just finish there on eighths of the B and G. Thanks for checking out the video, everybody. Like it, share it, leave a comment. It's always good to hear from you. Do me a favor and hit the subscription button. I put out a video pretty frequent, so you don't want to miss out on that. Check out the links in the description box below. I have really cool links for tablature books, all the gear I use, t-shirts, fun stuff like that. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.